information. Like I said, I'm Lori Caywood, Alliance for Workforce Development. To the left over there, you have our Chico office, our Orville office, and the contact information there. This is my direct contact information over under my name. Always please feel free to reach out to me directly if you have any questions. I'm going to go ahead and have you go to the next slide. So again, I'm not going to go through all of this word for word. I just want to, you're going to have all this information. I just want to hit some of the high points. Like I said, on average, we work with about 1,500 businesses every year. We help fill about 2,500 positions. We provide back to our employers about $1 million in wage reimbursement for OJTs, which is pretty impressive statistic for our little community. Just in case you have, I think most of you are probably in Butte County, but we are located in 6 different counties. So if you look over to the right there, you'll see that we're in Lassen, Plumas, Modoc, Sierra, and Nevada County as well. In Chico, we have a couple offices, main offices, one's in Orville, one's in Chico. We also have an office in Chico that is dedicated to the campfire. So technically 3 offices in Butte County. So I'm gonna go ahead and move us down to the next slide. Okay. So I just want to go over some of the, real quick before we get into the OJT stuff, I just want to go in over some of what AFWD has to offer for businesses and employers. One of the big things is recruiting, posting your positions. We can help you with that. And we are nonprofit. I didn't mention that. We're nonprofit. We specialize in permanent full-time employment, so we're not a temp agency. When we get to the OJT portion, we can't do OJTs for temporary positions, but we can still, if you have a temporary position, we can still post that position for you. We can still help you recruit for it, even if we can't do an OJT for it. So some of the other services that we have, that layoff aversion, we can help you with that. We do HR consulting, labor law, any of the things you see there. If you have questions or need some assistance in those areas, please feel free to reach out to us. On the next slide. So these are some more, a little bit more detail on some of our basic services. We have, like I said, we can post your positions online. When we post your positions online, if you're in CalJobs, if we have your EDD number and we can put you into CalJobs, those positions go out across the entire state of California. So they get a lot of eyes on them. Plus we post them on all of our local job boards. We search through our applicant pool. We see who we have that might already be a good fit for that position. All kinds of other services, like I said, basic services, no job's too small, no job's too big. You know, we've got a great team that can help you in all kinds of areas when it comes to hiring and other things too, like I said, labor law, those kind of things. So we'll jump down to the next slide. So this is mainly what we're here to talk about is our OJT program. So our OJT program, or our on-the-job training, is assistance we offer to employers to help offset the cost of training. So if you have somebody you're looking at hiring and they're going to need some training, we help you put together a plan for what they're going to need to be trained on. And then we do a contract between us and you for a reimbursement portion of their wages during that training period. We work with several different programs. WIOA is our largest source of funding, but we actually have funding, like I said, from different areas. They all have a little bit different requirements. So for the most part, most jobs, if they are full-time, and for us full-time is 30 hours or more. So if the position is 30 hours or more and the candidate is going to need training, we can say, yep, this candidate needs to be trained in these areas. We can usually put together an OJT contract. And what that means is it's all individualized. So it depends on, there's not like a set amount, but we can probably reimburse their wages 50 to 75% for 3 to 6 months is a pretty average. So most contracts end up being between $3,000 and $6,000 back to the employer in the form of wage reimbursement. We have some other programs we work with that have a little bit different requirements. We have a couple where the candidates can work part-time. We do work with the STEP program here in Butte County. If we have somebody come through that program and we send them out to you and you're looking to hire them, that's one of the easiest programs we have to work with. It's also one of the most generous. That program offers 100% reimbursement for 6 months. And we have some great candidates that come through that program. For the most part, they're often, those candidates often need a little bit more training. That's why that program is so generous. But we definitely get some really great candidates. In fact, the success story I was telling you about at the beginning when we were having technical difficulties, she came through that program. And she's got a career now. So anyway, lots of different programs. And if one of the things, and I sometimes forget to mention this, so if we post a position for you and we are recruiting for you, I'll be sending you resumes, and I will usually tell you in the email, in the body of the email, this candidate's enrolled and they qualify for XYZ. If I know, I don't always know because it is individualized. Sometimes I might send you a resume and say, this candidate may or may not qualify for OJT funding. And if I say that, that's probably because, like I said, we advertise your positions all over. So we get resumes in from everywhere, not just people that are enrolled in our program. And so if it comes in from an outside source, I may or may not know yet if they're qualified for the program. But if they do qualify for the program, then we just enroll them, and that's how that works. Another thing we do is called pre-select. So if you're working with us and you find a candidate happens to apply to you directly, and it looks like they're going to need training, we can often fund them as well. And that's really easy. If I don't already have the job description, you would just send me the job description and the candidate's resume, contact information, and then we just get a hold of them. We ask them a few questions and we see if we can qualify them for the program that way. So there's lots of information on this page too. Like I said, it's, one of the things I always tell all my employers is, when in doubt, ask. Because so often candidates we can qualify for them for this program and the employer doesn't think we can, or just forgot to ask or whatever. So always, when in doubt, ask, send it to me. I can usually get you an answer back in a day. And if they do qualify, it usually takes us, we were qualifying people and be able to get them started within a week. Because of COVID and because of everybody working remotely, we're a little slower than that right now. It's taken about a week and a half. And again, that also depends on which program they qualify for. Some are really quick. Some of them, depending on the program, I can get them started, in 2 or 3 days. But usually, worst case scenario, it takes me a week to a week and a half. And a lot of times that is also dependent on, from the employer, from your side of it, we need to have a certificate of insurance for workers' comp and general liability. And every now and then the insurance companies hold us up on that. So a really good practice is if you contact me and have me list a position and we're hoping to do an OJT for that position, then before we even find a candidate, we just make those requests from your insurance company just so we can have that certificate on file, and that just kind of speeds things up once we find that perfect candidate to get them going. So let's move on to the next slide. So I touched on this a little bit, who are OJT workers? And the answer really, the simple answer is really anyone. We do work with a lot of entry level. There seems to be a perception out there though that that's all we do is entry level positions. And although we do a lot of entry level positions, We do everything. Anybody can qualify. Anybody who needs training can qualify for an OJT. You know, somebody changing careers, you know, they may have had a very successful career for 10 years in one field, but now they're looking at changing fields. They're going to require training. So that's somebody who would probably qualify for an OJT. Another one that, you know, people don't realize that qualify are recent grads. They often have maybe a bachelor's degree. They have a bachelor's degree in engineering, but they've never actually worked in the field. So that's another way we can qualify them for an OJT. Workers who have been laid off, which we have a lot right now, a lot of, you know, unemployed folks out there. They often qualify for an OJT. So huge range. Again, the answer is anybody can qualify for an OJT. An example of somebody who wouldn't qualify for an OJT would be you are advertising a position for maybe an accounts payable person, and we find you somebody who's been an accounts payable person for 10 years. They've done everything. They are the perfect fit for the position. They're not going to qualify for an OJT, but we're going to send them to you anyway because they still might be the perfect person that you've been looking for. So, you know, we don't screen out that way. Like I said, I would tell you in the email, I found this great candidate. They're probably not, based on their experience, probably not going to qualify for an OJT, but I wanted to send them along to you anyway. So anyway, that would be an example of somebody who wouldn't qualify. But a lot more people qualify than most employers realize they would. So don't count anybody out. Again, short answer, ask me. So we will move on to the next slide. One of the other things I wanted to touch on really quick, because a lot of employers don't realize this, is a lot of our candidates that qualify for OJTs also qualify for other benefits. So the WOTC tax credit would be one of those. Anybody who is a veteran or a welfare recipient, long-term unemployed, if they've been justice involved or SSI recipients, they're also going to qualify automatically for the WOTC tax credit. And that depends, you know, the amount of that depends on, you know, what category they fall into. A trick to that is you do need to apply for it. We can't do that for you. And you do need to apply for it, I believe, within the first 30 days of their employment. So that's one of them. Again, just another benefit to that. The fidelity bonding, I wanted to mention that. We don't do it a lot, but it is out there. And that is, so say you're hiring somebody who's maybe been justice involved or welfare recipient or something, somebody you really want to give a second chance to, but you're a little bit nervous because of the type of position they'll be in or something like that. So we can do, and this is something we can do for you. Fidelity offers a bond, which is kind of a little insurance policy. So if there's some kind of an issue, maybe there was a theft or something like that. We've never had it happen, but I know that makes some employers nervous. So anyway, that's out there, and it is something that we can do for you, and it's pretty easy to do. It doesn't take much time. So if that just gives you that little extra peace of mind, you know, by all means, reach out to me and say, hey, we're thinking about hiring this person. Is it possible, you know, would they qualify for this bond? And then I can check that out and let you know pretty quickly. Okay, so we'll move on to the next slide. So this is kind of it. This is the gist of it. You know, we have some really powerful recruiting tools at our fingertips. When you post positions and we help you recruit, you know, we get a lot of eyes on your position. Right now, especially, you know, the more places you have your positions out there, the better. So, you know, by all means, you know, use this for that. And then another side benefit that I think, I don't know if everybody realizes or not, but so when we post positions and we put it on CalJobs and things like that, recruiting sites like Indeed, they often pull from those other sites. So every now and then, that's if yours is one of them that gets pulled, it's kind of a way to get eyes on your position or your listing on Indeed or one of the other sites like that without paying for it. So, and again, we are nonprofit, so the services through Alliance for Workforce Development, they are all free, both to employers and to the participants that we serve. So, you know, you can reach out, and if there's anything that we can do for you, we are more than happy to help. So if anybody has any questions or more information you would like.
Let me exit this so I can go ahead and check on the chat here. I think I have to stop the video. Can you still see my screen?
Well, unfortunately, on my side, I haven't been able to see it the whole time. So,
oh, here's my. Okay, great. Okay, so Donna, looks like you have a question. Go ahead and type in your question if you have any questions, and I can read them aloud.
we have not been without our technical difficulties this morning, that's for sure.
So fun. Oh, she was responding to the question about seeing the screen. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So I know I'm famous for this. As soon as a presentation's over or whatever, I think about what I want to ask after the fact. So please reach out to me. My contact information is on that first page. Liz is going to make sure that this presentation gets emailed out to you. So you have that information. So if you think of anything or want more information, please just feel free to reach out to me.
I'm going to go ahead and type in your information into
Yes,
the chat box as well. So
absolutely.
we can just copy and paste it. So just 1 second and see.
And that number she just gave you, that is my cell phone number, and it's the best number to reach me on. You can also text me on that number, and then my email also, great way to reach me. My main office number does roll over to my cell right now because, like I said, we are working remotely. And even when we're not working remotely, I am out in the field a lot, so that cell number is usually the best choice.